BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band. Is BoogeyMan band.
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. A little late to the game on this one, but this is a spooky screenings for the recently released Abigail. This is Radio Silence's newest film. They are known for movies like Ready or Not and Scream 5 and Scream 6. I do these from time to time, and last year I said I wasn't doing reviews of movies anymore. I'm doing these spooky screenings where it's just my thoughts on a particular film that I'm interested in. And whether I end up liking the film or not, I will always do a spooky screenings on something that comes out that I am interested in. And my wife and I went and saw it today. Here's my ticket, and I'm really excited to talk about it. After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. The movie stars Melissa Barrera as Joey, Dan Stevens as Frank, Alicia Weir as Abigail, William Catlett as Rickles, Catherine Newton as Sammy, Kevin Durant as Peter, Angus Cloud as Dean, and Giancarlo Esposito as Lambert. The movie was written by Stephen Shields, Guy Busick, screenplay by Stephen Shields and Guy Busick, and it was directed by Matt Bettinelli Olpen and Tyler Gillette, also known as Radio Silence. So a lot of people that I am friends with and follow here in the YouTube space really enjoyed Abigail, that being like my friend Evan at Rockland Graves, or my good buddy Kanan Becker at Ghost Pirate Entertainment. Also saw that Cody Leach had given it a great review, even though I don't always trust his opinion, but I do respect what he does, and I was happy to hear that he liked this film. In fact, he had picked it as the best Radio Silence film that's been put out. I had a blast with Abigail, as I knew I would. There's just not a lot of great vampire movies out now, and I'm really hungering for them, so to speak. Of course, Last Voyage of the Demeter I had wanted to be better than it turned out to be, even though I really enjoyed it, and I was really saddened by the fact that nobody really gave that movie a chance. It just sort of died a slow death, and it happened during the Writers Guild strike as well as the actors strike last summer, so nobody really went and saw it, and they weren't able to promote it in any way. And I kept thinking if that movie was a success, then it might lead to Warner Brothers sort of pulling the trigger and releasing the Salem's Lot remake, which is still kind of in limbo. We've heard that it's going to be an HBO Max or Max exclusive release, but there's been no word since I initially dropped that information a little while back. So it's kind of still in limbo, but Abigail, while it is getting really good reviews and people that are seeing it are really enjoying it, I don't think it's blowing up the box office like they wanted it to, unfortunately. And I'm sort of perplexed as to why that Civil War was still so, people were going to see that instead of this. This looked fun. I was really, intrigued when I first saw the trailers. And I said, this looks like a lot of fun. It just looked like a blast, much like Evil Dead Rise was, which was my favorite film of 2023, and just such a fun movie-going experience. But yeah, I really enjoyed Abigail. One thing I do have to point out right away, it was sad to see Angus Cloud. This was his last film role, and I was a huge fan of him from Euphoria. He was my favorite character, my favorite actor on that show. And of course he played Fez, and I was really sad that he overdosed last summer. They did a nice little tribute to him at the end of the film, which was really great, and it made me sad. My wife and I both loved him, and such a young guy. He was only like 25 years old when he passed away from a drug overdose, and it was actually here in the Bay Area in Oakland. Just too sad, and my heart goes out to him, his family, and his friends, and everybody that knew him. He was really a terrific talent. It was great to see him in this, to go out in a kick-ass horror film. But such a waste and such an enormous talent. It just really breaks my heart. So yeah, just really sad to see him, and he did a great job in this, as did everybody. I really love Melissa Barrera, and I'm glad that she has this movie now after all that stupid controversy and just how unfairly she was treated by Spyglass with regards to Scream 7 and what's going on with that film. She's great in this film. I think it's really great seeing her play a different character, because this is only the third film I've seen her in. Loved her as Joey. And she's kind of, when they kidnap Abigail, she's the one that's going in and checking in with her and everything like that, as they have her kind of, sequestered to this room where they're holding her hostage. They have to be in this place for 24 hours. The bond between her and Alicia Weir, who plays Abigail, is really well done, and they just have a terrific chemistry. Also, Dan Stevens, can't say enough great things about him. I love him from movies like The Guest. I never watched Downton Abbey, but I know my wife was a huge fan of that and said he was great on that. But just recently, he was in Godzilla, the new Godzilla X Kong movie, and he was great in that as well. Love him in everything I see him in, and he's really... he's a character that you like, but you don't because he's a prick. But again, does a great job. Huge fan of Kevin Durand. I've been a fan of him for a long time. One of my favorite parts that he played was in The Strain. He played Fett, and he's terrific in this. As kind of the goofy muscle of the group, but he does a terrific job. It was also great to see Giancarlo Esposito as Lambert. Always liked that actor. And this movie is very violent and very fun. It sort of starts as one way. It had a lot of vibes of From Dusk Till Dawn when it started for me, because From Dusk Till Dawn was a movie I remember seeing with my buddies back in 1996. And that movie starts as one thing and ends up another. And that's kind of what happened with this film for me. It was, you know, I knew where it was going. I knew it was a vampire story, and I knew From Dusk Till Dawn was. But I remember back in the day talking to so many people that saw From Dusk Till Dawn. I said, oh, it's so weird. It starts as this crime movie and then turns into this over-the-top action vampire movie. And that's kind of what happens here. This is a bloody movie, very gory movie, very R-rated movie, which I loved. And hats off to this young girl that plays Abigail. I could not believe how great she was. Just a terrific actress. The vampire effects were amazing. I really loved the way that she looked, the way that they made the teeth more animalistic. I got some Salem's Lot vibes when I watched this. There was a couple of moments, she reminded me of Ralphie Glick. It was just something in the way that she carried herself. But the fact that she's a ballerina, there's some terrific moments in this where the movie just goes completely bonkers, and I just was in for it for the whole ride. It was so much fun. And this is one of my favorite movies of the entire year. I mean, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is taking my top spot, but Abigail is a very close second. It was just so much fun watching this film, and I was so happy to see it with an audience that was really into it. And at first, we got into the theater, and there was some people that were talking, a group of kids, and I'm like, great, they're going to fucking ruin this whole movie for me. They were great, and it was just reminded me of going to movies with my buddies back in the day, and my wife and I really had a blast. We really had a blast with this movie. It was so much fun. Can't recommend it enough. I wish it was doing better box office numbers. It's just hitting like 20 million right now in US box office. I think it's like at 18, which surprises me just because of the track record with Radio Silence. And I just don't know if people just aren't into vampire movies like they used to be. But that being said, Abigail was a complete fucking blast. One of my favorite vampire movies, probably my favorite vampire movie since 30 Days a Night, and that's going back to 2007. That's a long fucking time. So I just had a great time with this film. Very gory, lots of great action, great acting, funny moments. Cannot recommend Abigail enough. I'm so glad I saw it in the theater. Best vampire movie I've seen in 17 years. That's a long fucking time. I can't believe 30 Days a Night came out that long ago. So if you guys have seen Abigail, let me know what you guys think. Please leave your comments down below. I would love to hear from everyone. And as always, thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. Hope everyone's doing well. Talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.